Hi, I'll put a piece of here. Well, these are the facts a lot of people don't see, especially those infected with religious psychosis, Christianity, and the other myth stuck in the 12th century. We are product of evolution, DNA. DNA, 500 million years ago, is the system that constructs our bodies. This is actually a truth, which culminated into, by trial and error, the construction of our brains. Actually, like about 7 million years ago, when we came down from the trees. In other words, evolution. And that's actually a fact. We are nothing but a product of a sperm and egg, passing the DNA. Here we are, but there are mutations.
It's because I'm missing like 4 sections of my spinal cord, which doesn't really give me the proper lift that I need, and a lot of it is just supported by muscle.
They believed her extreme anatomy created life-threatening risks, and that the growth of the baby was going to compress her heart and lungs and possibly suffocate her.
This woman is amazing. So much for an intelligent designer. Here is a man born with a, testis and a vulva.
Ultrasounds revealed that what Dr. Singh had initially assumed were ovaries were in fact Saroj's misplaced testes.
But when all the investigation came in favor of male, then I became sure that he must be operated.
Dr. Singh carefully separated Saroj's testes from the uterus and then performed a hysterectomy.
Amazing, cry-psychotics and other religious retarded people never mention this about their intelligent designer. Where is God? The mother of this half-woman, unfortunately, is mentally retarded. Here he is.
I don't want cops to come here. You're angry and I don't know why you're so angry. What are you angry
Pretty sad on this kid. Brain is everything.
Lost her.
Brain is the creator of thought. When it malfunctions, this is what happens.
Uncle get all upset and start screaming and yelling.
Like the brain or something. To help so you're not the gay.
I think Christ-psychotic should take some of those along with other religious people that believe in imaginary friends, God. This man had the same problem and manifests itself in a different way. As you can see here, these troops and the people, the same disease. People, instead of stagnating the intellect, reading one book, going to church every Sunday, the same book, read science, learn something else. Don't get stagnated and retarded. I never took piano lessons in my life, and I can play piano because I was interested. I hope
I never see a defect larger than his.
This is genetic mutations.
Jared was in trouble. If the organs were not covered to ward off infection,
no skin,
he would die. A scalp that was intact.
And why?
And very carefully fashioned flaps.
The doctor, due to science, saved him. In other words, his doctor was not infected with Christ-psychosis.
The defect was too large.
Religious beliefs are the greatest drag on the intellect and on science ever. They are the scourge of the intellect and the mind. And it's just a plain mental illness and psychosis that we don't need in the 21st century. Samples and these people that I show here in my video, they were never able to survive and never accepted, during the Middle Ages by the Christians. They would have been burned at the stake and considered demonic. This is the reason I consider Christianity the most disgusting and cancer of the brain, genocidal psychopathy. The Christian tortures of the Inquisition and the Crusades are very, very well documented. This baby was born with half a heart, genetic defect, thanks to the DNA. Where's intelligent designer? Thanks to science and doctors, she was saved.
A series of operations. The first would get blood flowing to her organs.
Thanks to science.
High mortality rate.
Prayers will not work on this, Christians. Another infected with a religious psychosis anomaly. Our bodies are constructed by DNA, a product of evolution for thousands and thousands, millions of years. And now we see what happens when there is
Once that the growth was there, I never left home because people were laughing at me, so I've stayed and remained inside.
Oh, great God! Oh, yeah, He exists. Why don't you pray to zombie Jesus? Pray to zombie Jesus.
Sarnia will look like a different person.
This lady would have been burned at the stake by the retarded Christians, you know, during the Middle Ages. Demon possession. Today, she's cured thanks to science, atheism, mentally healthy. The most important thing, which we have a problem, we have mutations, is our brains. That's what we create God with. That's what makes us what we are. The brain, I call it the universe within. They're absolutely amazing. They create God, and they're an incredible tool. They keep time forever. It's absolutely amazing. You can see this.
Orlando and Daniel seem to possess special powers of perception, as well as enhanced memory.
We have a time clock inside our heads that we are born with.
And they are known to science as computing calendar dates.
What part of my brain is doing this, I don't know.
Savants.
It's inside of the, right in the depth of the center of the brain.
Popularized by the hit movie.
Our neurons send signals across tiny gaps called synapses. Dr. Lynch can measure just how much ampakines grease these synapses inside the brain.
What we have in this dish is a piece of the living brain. And up here on this screen, you can actually see the synaptic voltages.
Yes, there you go. Creating God, the rest of Delusion.
Preparing to pass them on, preparing to pass them on, let's add some ampakines.
Here's the proof, right there.
Same synapses.
Brain creates a mind.
More voltage.
God doesn't exist.
By increasing the speed of thought, these drugs will make us more alert and improve our memory.
Yeah, and drugs affect the brain.
None of the jittery side effects of stimulants like energy drinks or coffee.
Okay, science explains a lot of things, especially neurology, which indicates that we create the mind, thoughts, with our brains, which is a product of evolution. Facts are facts. Our brains, the universes within, are susceptible to chemicals and electromagnetism. And we use entheogens and all that. Humanity has used them to actually create religious belief, believing God and other imaginary friends.
Was increasing interest within mainstream psychiatry, particularly among investigators, to examine the range of effects of a variety of psychedelic compounds, including
Mushroom is one of several fungi containing another mind-altering substance, psilocybin.
Effects of psilocybin or psilocybin-containing mushrooms on human beings is dependent upon a dosage, but psilocybin does induce an altered state of consciousness.
And you can write a Bible. Any sacred books were written under the influence of this.
For this will occur in the brain. Psilocybin metabolizes into psilocin, which has a similar structure as serotonin, a natural neurotransmitter affecting our mood. The psilocin is then able to bind to serotonin's receptors, exciting nerves as if a massive rush of real serotonin.
They're creating God this way.
The floodgates of the senses are open.
God with our brains.
In the 1960s, the use of psilocybin mushrooms and a compound derived from an ergot fungus, known as LSD, escaped the laboratory.
So the 5,000-year-old Book of the Dead, the Talmud, the Septuagint, the Quran, the Bible, and all the rest of nonsense mythologies books are created under the influence of drugs, entheogens, altering the brain. Genetic mutation from the past. This kid would have been burned at the stake by the Christians.
I'm the product of the devil because of the way I was born.
Some researchers believe a gene long since turned off in most of us is active in sufferers, called an atavism. It's a throwback in evolution. So hair grows where it would have on our ancestors.
Throwback on evolution.
Others point out that apes have little hair on their eyelids, unlike Jesus. The truth is, we don't really.
Yes, we are the true gods. We create God here. And that's science. Atheism, lack of belief in nonsense. Religious beliefs stagnate the intellect. They make us dumb and stupid. And they're being studied the intellect for 1700 years when Christianity arrived. Thanks to Constantine, the son of God, Christ, in 325 CE, the Roman Empire. Believing God are simply retarded. They don't realize that we are in the 21st century, not the 12th, and we create everything, the mind, thoughts with our brain.